The prostitutes of mainstream media continue to live vicariously through the Parkland survivors as they applaud these kids for saying things they can't outright say without getting slaughtered by a barrage of justified criticism. They tell us daily that the Parkland survivors have this innate moral authority and are immune from logic-based criticism.
You and I both know how much vilification there's been during this entire tragedy. I mean, frankly, on both sides. You and your friends have been in the middle of this media maelstrom. I mean, you guys have been targeted by right-wing, websites and cable news hosts, and I don't know how you're coping.
If you question their individual rights trampling statements, well then, you're immoral, you hate kids, and you're obviously in the back pocket of the NRA. If you enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon for all my latest uploads, give it a like, and share this with everybody you know.
What are you guys hoping to accomplish here?
Spread the word. Spread the message about, gun violence, and hope that, lawmakers, try to get gun control so no more kids have to die, in school. Hope that, lawmakers, try to get gun control.
Every moment will be dedicated to those pieces of legislation. Every march, every meeting, every moment. All for that assault weapons ban, to keep these weapons of war out of the hands of civilians who do not need them.
I want people to understand, we're not trying to take your guns.
All for the prohibition of high-capacity magazines, because no hunter will ever need access to a magazine that can kill 17 in mere minutes.
We're not against the Second Amendment.
When they give us that inch, that bump stock ban, we will take a mile. We are not here for breadcrumbs, we are here for real change.
We're not trying to take your guns.
The people demand a law banning the sale of assault weapons.
We're not trying to take your guns.
The people demand we prohibit the sale of high-capacity magazines.
We're not against the Second Amendment.
The people demand universal background checks.
We're not against the Second Amendment.
We are here to call out every single politician, to force them into enacting this legislation. They know that if there is no assault weapons ban passed, then we will vote them out.
Guys, I want to take a couple seconds to thank my sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. Not only are these guys pro-individual rights, they've created a product that protects your individual rights. Their virtual private network was designed to protect you from the prying eyes of government spies, intrusive data miners, hackers, and even your own internet service provider. Their set it and forget it shield hides your activity and location and protects you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Grab Virtual Shield with my promo code in the link below and you'll get a free 30-day trial plus 20% off. Virtual Shield believes you have the right to remain private. The question is, do you believe that?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust government?
2.
2?
A 2.
So basically, historically, governments aren't trustworthy, right?
No, I don't feel that they are.
Let me address something real quick. This slogan on this sign was very popular on the day of the march. Protect kids, not guns. A similar sign was, your rights are not more important than our kids' lives. And one kid's life is more important than all the guns in the world. There were tons of these signs. The social engineers who are directing the minds of these kids and the adults that blindly follow them know exactly what they're doing. The people, on the other hand, who mindlessly wave their signs as they beg political parasites, who the marchers themselves say they don't even trust, wittingly or unwittingly have engaged themselves in a deceptive game of mental war by using these false dichotomies and false dilemmas. A false dichotomy is typically used in an argument to force your opponent into an extreme position by making the assumption that there are two and only two positions. And honestly, it's pretty effective. Bush, for example, used a false dichotomy to foist his Fourth Amendment snatching, unpatriotic Patriot Act, part of which supercharged the Department of Homeland Security and gave a $7 billion a year handout to the TSA's security theater so they could initiate their radiation and molestation practices at all major airports. And people freely gave up their rights. Why? Because of the potent power of the false dichotomy. You want an example? Here it is in action.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
Yeah, there couldn't possibly be an in-between, right? Obama's done this, Clinton, Reagan. In fact, all political parasites employ this wordcraft on the unthinking masses. Somebody once said, if you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it, and you will even come to believe it yourself. A false dichotomy is obviously a lie. And this false dichotomy of, if you protect your rights over and above getting on our side and pushing gun control, which is really people control, through the use of state-sponsored and initiated gun violence, well then, you're an immoral hater of children. It's deceptive, dishonest, and downright immoral in and of itself because it forces unthinking people into making immoral choices that rob others of their individual rights. Whenever you steal the freedom of another innocent human being, you are doing that which is immoral. And because all laws are backed by the threat of force, backed ultimately by the barrel of the guns of government agents, then these people using the false dichotomy or false dilemma are really trying to get you to call for government-sponsored gun violence in order to rid this country of gun violence. It's utter insanity.
Today, we take to the streets in over 800 marches around the globe and demand common sense gun laws.
One of the problems that we have is the ease of access to guns, and it's out of control, and it's not what our founding fathers intended.
If you were able to snap your fingers and make a law right now, what would it read? What would it say? What would the law be?
Well, the short version would be sensible, sane gun laws. It would, of course, include universal background checks. It would include no bump stocks.
When they give us that inch, that bump stock ban, we will take a mile.
It would include minimum of 21 years to own any kind of weapon, and assault rifles, of course, need to be banned.
And how do you define assault rifle?
Well, that's more than I'm from the 19th century, so the technology keeps changing. But I'll let that be for the people in that white dome to figure out.
So if we don't trust government and we're marching to get the attention of people in government to do something, how's that going to go?
I think that, everybody says, I'm just one person, I can't do much. But once 5,000 and 100,000 and 500,000 get together, then we can make a difference and get the government to take a look at us and say that we all do care, So I'm hoping that there's going to be a change.
So the bottom line is you guys are for gun control.
Yeah.
And who do you want to control the guns?
The government.
The government that we don't trust should control the guns?
Yes.
Yes? Is that a definite yes? Okay. Generally speaking, you're for banning assault rifles, high-capacity magazines, and universal background check.
Of course, it's just sane.
And to boil it all down, you're for gun control.
I am for gun control.
Now, who should control the...
I mean, after all, I am a gun violence victim.
That's right. Yep. Who should control the guns?
Who should control the guns?
Yes.
Well, that's a very strange question. What do you mean by that?
Well, when people are out here saying that they're for gun control, they want somebody to control the guns, but they want some people not to control the guns.
The gun regulation should come from the federal level.
Okay, explain.
And then down to the state level.
Does that conflict with the 10th Amendment?
No! This is more complicated. Okay. Who are you working for?
Everybody has to get together and maybe submit some kind of laws or some kind of something to get the government and the people in the government to take a look and hopefully, I guess, just make a change.
So what do you think criminals think about more gun restrictions? Do you think they care? Do you think they're scared about that?
I think ultimately there need to be more. less guns available on the streets and in the hands of private citizens. They should be able to, I believe in the Second Amendment, but with sane, sensible gun control. I need to actually end the interview. I need to keep going on.
All right, just one more question. If somebody owns an AR-15, which people call an assault-style rifle,
they should be turned in, and they should be compensated for the cost of the gun.
even if they don't want to turn them in?
I think they should be turned in. No private citizen in this country. Only people who should have assault rifles in this country should be the military and police force.
Do you know the police, or what guns do you want banned?
I think AR-15s or assault-style weapons should be banned. You know.
What are the characteristics of an assault-style weapon? Because I'm hearing that term a lot, and I'm finding that 9 times out of 10 people don't really know what it is. Do you know what an assault-style weapon is?
Not the full definition, but more like an automatic weapon, I guess.
Automatic weapons have been banned since the 1930s.
I guess whatever weapons have been used in school shootings, you know, since.
So ban AR-15s right off the bat.
Yeah.
Do you see the concern of gun owners who own AR-15s, high-capacity magazines, a bunch of weapons? They haven't hurt anybody. They're not planning to hurt anybody. Do you see the concern of people on that side of the fence when other people start talking about gun restrictions and gun laws and taking away rights?
I think they're enthusiasts. I think that, you know, people who have those guns collect those type of guns, but there's no use for them. I mean, you don't go hunting with them unless you want to destroy something. You want to really do some damage to people, to things. I mean, there's no reason for it unless you're just like I said, in the military, or
are they required to have a reason for those? I mean, and who's gonna require them to? Like, don't we just want to be free? You know what I mean?
Yes, I mean, I agree that we should be able to obtain guns, and I mean, it's a right that, you know, has been around for a long time.
Ma'am, are you for gun bans?
Oh, for sure.
Ban all guns?
Yes.
What would you say to the 200,000 women last year who used handguns to avert being killed or raped?
No!
Now, let's say somebody breaks into your house and they're armed. How will you defend yourself and your family?
Taekwondo.
Well, no. They have a gun. If they have a gun.
Listen, if you know martial arts, you can very easily take over anybody.
What the hell did you just say?
I don't think Bruce Lee could beat a 2-2-3, do you?
Dogs are actually more successful deterring criminals from breaking into your home than having a sign, you know, I have a gun, or, you know, ADT, or
I know what
whatever.
sign you shouldn't have, though. Don't tell a criminal you don't have a gun, right?
If you see a benefit in this content, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a like, and share it with everybody you know. A lot of you guys have been asking about the shirts in the shirt store. There are now over 50 hard-hitting designs. Click on the link below, head to the store, grab a couple, and break through to those who are still connected to the morphine drip of lamestream media insanity. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored, demonetized video.